Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of our series. In today's episode, we are going to be scripting the status label. This thing up here, which is, like I said in the last video, is going to say things like intermission and whatnot. And this is going to be based off a value we have on the server. Well, replicated storage is storage that's both on the server and client. There's not two, but it's basically you can access anything in here from both the server and client. So we're going to, on the server, we're going to write a value in here, and then on the client, we're going to read that value and make this text represent that value. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and insert a local script inside of our, we're going to create two variables. One is going to be for replicated storage. So we use game get service dot replicated storage because replicated storage is a service. And then we're going to do one for the status value that is inside of replicated storage, like that. And make sure that these names and stuff match this. So these should be the same with the capital if you didn't catch on that. So just make sure that it's capital. All right. And then what we're going to do is immediately set the text to the value of this. And why we do that is in case, you write something here, or that's why I said you can leave label. It's just going to change it to nothing because status, there's nothing there. So it's just going to be nothing basically. And then we're going to basically use something called get property changed signal, which is going to, and then we put value in the parentheses, which is going to detect when the value of status value changes. So on the server, when we write what we want into this value, it's going to detect that change, and then we're just going to copy this and put that in here, and it's going to change the text to that value. So that is how that works. And now we're going to go over to game script, and we're going to start writing some variables and stuff and prepare ourselves for the next episode, which is actually going to be the actual working on the game script and everything. So we're going to start with our variables. This is going to be the longest script of the series because it is the game script. There's a lot in here, so make sure you're paying attention. I recommend not skipping through the video. So first we need one for replicated storage. Again, the first couple ones are going to be services. So the next one is going to be server storage. So you basically do the same thing, but you put server storage in. And to do the autocomplete thing that shows up, this, where you put teams and it's there, just hit tab and it'll autofill. And then the next one is going to be maps. Make sure there's an underscore. I mean, it doesn't need an underscore, but that's just personal preference. I put that there because that's an important part of the game, I guess. It holds the maps, I guess, so it's distinct from everything else that's going to be in our script. And then we're going to make a remote events variable, which is going to be replicated storage.remote events. And then status value is going to be replicated storage.status. Like that. And then we're going to do one for map holder, which we put in, I think, at the end of last episode. But no, I think it was in the beginning. What am I talking about? But yeah, that, and then I think those are all of the variables we need for now. And then the next is going to be functions. We're not going to write all the functions right now. We'll go through it, but the first one we're going to write is a function for changing our status. So what we're going to do is we're going to do function status and then message like this. This is another form of writing a function. On my channel, we usually write a function like this, which it's kind of, it saves up lines basically. It's just like a one-line function, but you can use functions like this and then you call them like this, which I did in my beginner scripting. Is that, and then all we're going to do is do status value equals message. And if you're wondering why we're using, or what this means, is this is an argument or a parameter. I don't know I always get so confused with those. But when we fire it, we're going to put our message in here like this. So for example, before we continue, let's just put status hello world. And if we go over and go to test and then click on the run button, oh, it doesn't run on the server. I forgot. You're going to have to go into your game. All right. And it's going to say hello world just like that. So that is good. That means everything is working. If it's not, check the output for any errors. Oh, we have an error actually in our data store. Oh, okay. So if you were having issues with your data store, turns out it could just be this. Sorry if you guys had any issues with that in the last episode. I'll make sure to put a time code in the description for those who didn't end up seeing this in case they were having issues with that, but that should be good. Always make sure you check this. And as you can see, it's saying value is not a valid member of int value, and the value, you can see that the v is lowercase, and the v, usually when you use value, is going to be capital, so that means you wrote it wrong. Usually in the error, some people don't understand, but it's like literal. Like, it's not going to say, oh, you spelled value wrong. It's because it doesn't know that's what you're trying to find. It thinks that you're trying to find this value with a lowercase v, but it's saying that that's not a valid thing or valid property. It should be property of int value. So that is that. So we can move on now. So we can just get rid of this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our death handler, which, if you're wondering what that is, it's going to do a lot. A lot of this is going to be a little confusing until we connect it at the end, because I kind of wrote these scripts not in the order that I'm writing them now. So we're going to need our team service, and then we're going to make a function that's going to detect when a player joins the game, right? And then under that, we're going to do another one for when the character is added. And that character added means when you join the game, first of all, and your character loads in, plus when you respawn or reset, it's going to spawn in your character again. Then we're going to do another function. And this function is going to be character.humanoid.died. And then we're going to do connect function. And what this means is when our character dies, then we're going to do some stuff, which is going to basically move the player back to default. So that means that it's going to remove them from the game. Let me just say that. It's going to remove our character. And to do that, we're going to do player.team equals teams.lobby. And make sure lobby is spelled just how you spelt it down here. So instead of doing like a string value like this, you have to do an object. So teams.obby, and we have teams up here. So teams.obby, not obby, lobby. And then after that, we're gonna do if player find first child in game, then player.ingame remove. And you're probably wondering, what does this mean? Later, when we start scripting our game script, we're going to use something called in-game. It's just going to be a random value that we place inside the player when they're in the game. So if they're not in game, they won't have this in there. So if they die, they're going to be removed from the game, so we need to remove that if it's there. But we do this if statement in case some type of error goes wrong and it's not there, then that'll be fine. That means it's whatever. It's kind of bad that it's not there, but just in case something goes wrong, it doesn't break. And then we're just going to remove it. So that is the death handler. And we have our stuff going here. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. I know this one was a little bit short, but I just wanted to get everything sorted out before we continue. Then we're going to work a little bit more on the game script as well as working on maps. So we're going to work on the selecting of maps and putting the maps in game. So if you enjoyed this video, first of all, make sure you smash that like button and consider subscribing if you enjoyed. Leave a comment of how you think the series is going, if you like it, or have any other suggestions. Make sure to join my Discord server, like always, and my Bit Studios group on Roblox to support me. That is all I have to say. This is me signing off, and as always, keep on scripting.